I'm really happy with that situation. For me, it was the main thing that I wanted to stay on with RRQ because I felt like the job's not done. My contract was going to be expiring at the end of this year. So we negotiated and we discussed, and I felt like I still want to win a trophy with RRQ, and we haven't done that yet. Until we do that, I would like to be here and win the trophy with RRQ. I think there's been a lot of ups and downs. Last year, I think we outperformed some expectation from a lot, considering that the position that we came into franchising or into the league, a lot of fans, there was a lot of doubters that didn't really believe that we could compete against any of the teams in Pacific. And we did show that we can compete against them. And as the season went on, we started to play better and better. So that was a really good sign for me that we could improve with the more and more time that was given to us. For this season, there's even higher expectation. We've made improvements to the roster. So we're hoping to live up to that expectation and just keep going on that grind and just keep improving, really. I think there's always, it's part of the nature of my job to try and doubt everything, in terms of not doubting myself, but doubting everything that we do, but not in the terms of that it's not possible. Just being more, I would rather say more of being critical, because I feel like that's such a big part of my job, being able to identify mistakes and things that could potentially become problems later down the line. So of course, I think any team has those things that you identify. These things could be potential problems down the line, and it needs to get addressed now. So I think I wouldn't necessarily call it doubt. I just would say more it's being critical. So I feel like the most critical parts, or as you put it, maybe the doubts, is when we played against the bigger teams in Pacific League last year. We just couldn't get over that hump, and that is one thing that I'm not satisfied with, and I don't believe that the players are satisfied with either, beating the teams that we technically go into as favorites, but when we go in as the underdog, we're yet to really knock off the big dogs. So for us, that's our goal this season, to be able to do that. So that's the part where, yeah, maybe there's some doubt, but for me, if there's too much doubt, then I would just not stay on with the project. As long as the positive points and there's still hope, then, and that outweighs the doubts, then I feel like the project's always worth pursuing. For me, it's we needed to make some improvements in certain aspects for the team, and that we did do. We brought in players that I really believe in, and our players, the rest of the players, we also really believe in the guys that we brought in. So for me, that was a good sign in terms of that if we need to make improvements, we can make improvements, that there's room to grow, that if the team is just stagnant, then I feel like my job as the coach becomes extremely difficult. So working with an organization that is willing to make improvements and also see it eye to eye with myself, something that I value as really important, that we can see what needs to be done to improve the team, and what I need to do on my side and what the players need to do on their side to improve, that we can be a better team. And so far, I feel like we've been pretty much on the same page for that, and that's why for me it wasn't too much of a thought process to resign. For me, it's if you need to get every single player on the roster to really buy in to being able to work hard and just give everything, that we're not satisfied with a second or a third or wherever we are. As if we're not winning, we're not satisfied. So just making that hunger, that is something that I'm still working in day out, to make sure that we can try and build that culture of we are not satisfied with anything else than winning. For me, I feel like the coaching job changes with the players that you have in the team. there's different requirements that are needed depending on who the players are and what their needs are. So for myself, I feel like I usually just try to show by example that this is the work ethic that I'll put in, and I expect you to try and match that. I'm not saying it's necessarily possible that for you to just put in 20-hour days every day, yes, but I feel like that's what I try to do. So our plan going into, I've said this before the season started as well, our plan is to qualify to the international events and then be able to compete against the teams there as well, to not just go there and just be happy with arriving at the international stage, to compete against the other regions. We want to be competing there as well. At the moment, we're off to a little bit of an up and down start, but I do still believe that with more improvement from our side, that it is very possible with the Pacific League being so open at the moment, that if we can continue growing, that we can reach our goal. For me, it's always been if you can try and help a player, or just the work that you put in every day, which sometimes seems quite tedious, but that it gets to show. And it's usually something that you don't even notice if you just watch the broadcast. It's the small things that kind of just make the team click, which you know before if you were there in practice that it wasn't always clicking. Most teams don't just click instantly, and there's a lot of work that you need to put in to try and make it work. So for me, that's always the rewarding part. If it can become almost second nature, these things that we've been trying to learn, we're trying to talk about as much as possible. So in our VOD reviewing, these are the mistakes that we cannot make, this is how we need to react. And when that becomes second nature and you see it happening inside of the match, and you can see all of that time that you put in, that it wasn't just for nothing. So it really goes both ways. That's also the most frustrating part of the job as well, but also the most rewarding part. I tell him good luck. It's definitely, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I don't believe, if I wasn't very passionate about it, I would definitely not have stayed or re-signed anywhere. I don't think it's the type of job that you can kind of force yourself to like. You're going to put yourself in a spot where, yes, you don't usually get recognition for most of the things that you do. So that's something that you need to be okay with. And you're going to get blamed for a lot of things that go wrong as well, where of course the intention of any coach is always just to try and improve and try to help the team. There's never an intention to try and make the team worse. So that just comes with the job. And I feel like if you're not extremely passionate about it and you don't find the rewarding things in the job from others achieving, then there's no point in really being in coaching, in my opinion. So for younger self, kind of just say hang in there. And it was really a fast track from when I moved over to Asia to all of a sudden then the leagues, the franchise league came around really fast. No one really expected it. So for myself, I wasn't really expecting to stay in Asia for more than 6 months maximum. Initially it was 3 months. So really from there, I would have probably just told younger self, just go with it. Just kind of let it happen. Just continue to work hard and let the things around you happen. Because I feel like for myself, I kind of let those things happen, just continued focusing on what I need to do, and for now, it's been a fun ride. So from my side, for all of the RRQ fans, the RRQ Kingdom, I know that it is sometimes, it's really rewarding to see your team win, but it's also very devastating to see your team lose. And I really want you guys to understand that we really do take it personally also, and that we're always trying to improve. from every match we'll put in as much hours to try and improve for the next match. So we really just ask you guys to put your trust in us, that we'll do every day what it takes to try and improve the team. And for every match, we'll make sure that we're as prepared as possible. I can't promise you that we're going to win everything. I can't promise you that we're going to be in Champions Final, but I can promise you that we will do our very best and we will continue going until we win that trophy. So for us, for now, just keep believing and we'll try and repay that faith that you have in us with some silverware.